And of the 14, how many of the agents have used this before?
Oh, two, three.
Two. Wow, that's not good. But you know what? That's why we're here on the call. So we're listings to leads. You all have access to this because the office is providing this to you. What you should know is that for agents who typically use our tools, and I mean consistently use our tools, they're generating hundreds of leads, either buyers or sellers, every week. Now you don't have to pay for this. You should have an ID and password. You can log in up here. And I just want to show you a couple of the tools just to give a flavor of what we're doing. We call this a listing landing page. Your listings automatically hit our system, and we create a bunch of tools, and we should be sending them to you. We don't get the open house date and time. You can log in and edit and save the date and time, and you'll see that this tool has kind of a ticking time bomb because there's an open house later on this week. And we call it a listing landing page because for us, I think the definition of a landing page is we're going to give you a little bit of information. And if you want more, you've got to give us your contact information. And you see over here this blue button that says continue with Facebook. This here, if you click it, it's going to create a flash, and we'll see it in the middle of the page. And that's us, listings to leads, reaching to Facebook, getting the name and email of that person and delivering it to you, the agent. So at that point, you now have the contact info. We drop the consumer right on the single property website, which we host as well. And we get that out, and so the consumer has what they want to know. You have what you want to know as interested buyers. And then, of course, this is mobile optimized and has all the fun stuff that you would expect in any real estate marketing. That's kind of, short and sweet, kind of what we do. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of tools. But I think often there is so much in listings to leads that agents get a little bit freaked out and they get overwhelmed. So I'm going to show you a handful of tools today that you should use, and also how to set up some automation that's very powerful. But this is the other tool. This is kind of the other half of listings to leads, which is landing pages, not about properties, but about what is your home worth, homes sold near you, landing pages for empty nesters, for growing families. So people that are interested in property, but not about a particular property. The way this works is somebody types in their address, right? And they put in, as long as it's a residential address, and they click get the value estimate. Again, if somebody wants information, they got to give you contact information. But by putting in the address, we'll let them know, as you're going to see here in a second, we have your value. Now, nobody actually gets their value until they give you their contact information. And that might be, an email. And why are you interested? Well, I'm thinking about selling. And that's cool. At this point, the agent is going to get the address and the email address of that homeowner. The consumer is going to get dropped on a value, and you are also going to be copied on that value. So you can sort of start a dialogue and say, hey, does that look right? If you have reviews on Zillow, you can check a box on your profile, and your reviews will be shown here, right? And then your contact info will be at the bottom. But those are kind of the two major halves in listings to leads. There is a side for your listings and how to market listings, and there's a side for landing pages. So before we go further, I want to bring you to the homepage. So you should log in, and since there are 14 of you, I would think maybe half of you will log into this thing, right? And when you do, you're going to see this page, and there's some good information here. One is about Facebook advertising and how to run ads on Facebook. And let me ask, do any of you, what's the percentage, how many people actually run ads on Facebook today with anything, not just our tools?
About half.
That's good. We're going to talk briefly today about some of the changes going on Facebook. And frankly, those changes are pretty harsh. If you've heard, there's been some rules regarding HUD advertising and just sort of discrimination stuff going on. You need to know how to run an ad and not get your whole account shut down by Facebook. We're going to talk about that. But step by step, is right here of how to run an ad on Facebook if you've never done it. I will tell you this. Agents love to use our tools and put them on Facebook just like this because they're designed to capture leads, right? If you look at this for the first time, after 5 seconds, this is going to pop up. It's going to capture a lead. Our virtual tours capture leads. And Facebook is a place where 71% of Americans spend about 40 minutes every day. So you have to kind of realize like there's no place that people spend more time other than TV. And TV advertising is really, really expensive. Our clients, we train them, weekly on how to run ads consistently with like a $200 or a $300 a month budget. And they're ending up with hundreds of leads every week and they're happy and that's awesome. So while Facebook is going to be throwing curveballs to everybody, there's still a lot, all the consumers are there. So you need to have that be part of your business. That's like kind of bottom line for us. The next button to the right is open house lead gen and then listing presentation. A lot of people will, if they're going to go on a listing presentation, they'll take a picture of the home with their smartphone, put it inside inside listings to leads, and then they'll show them everything that we've got to market. And from your end as an agent, what I'm going to show you how to market a listing is going to be like, that's too complicated and that's too much. I'm not even going to think about that. But if you actually present it to a homeowner, they're going to be blown away by all the things you can do. And so a lot of our clients use us in that listing presentation. I can do this. I'm mobile optimized. I'm going to capture leads. I've got virtual tours, all this and that. We'll get into it. But over here is a button on the left that says getting started. And I want everybody to know this here because Scott and I have put a lot of time in this particular page in the last couple months. And there are some key stuff that you need to know. Auto posting listings to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So we can now post your listings at every status to your business pages on Facebook, to your Twitter and LinkedIn account. We do it with hashtags, we do it with emojis, and we do it with our landing pages behind it to capture leads. So once you set it up, your listings hit our system automatically. We post them to your social media automatically with lead capture. And you can then, for a lot of agents, they're just capturing leads without even knowing what's going on because they're turning on the automation. You can set up your CRM. I don't know if you're all using the same CRM or you have multiple ones, but we integrate with a lot of CRMs. There's a client review website. Do your agents over there use Zillow? Do they capture reviews on Zillow? Are people writing reviews on them on Zillow? Nope. Oh, yes. Well, we've got a tool to show that, so I might show you that one. Now, Facebook pixels, I'm not too interested in that. That's super techy. Color and stuff, we set that up for you. But then we go into down here, how to market every listing, and then how to use the best landing pages and get things going on. And there's even a section here for no listing lead generation. So the tools, if you don't have listings, sorry, I'm jumping around here. What tools do we have that you can use to capture leads? So I just want you to know that really all the important stuff that you need to know to get the most out of this is right here on this first green button to learn more. But let's talk about listings and let's talk about the big things, right? So the big thing is we have different call to actions for every status. As you can imagine, a call to action for something that's coming soon is going to be totally different for a call to action of something that's just sold. And of course, if it's open house, that's a different message as well. So to take advantage of all those, you can just click this button and update your status here to pending or active contingent or just sold. Now, once you do that, if you set up auto posting on your profile, we're going to auto post your property with the right tool out on social media for you. Now, before we started the call, I actually set up an open house here for this property over here in Haiku. So let's look at the taskbar, which is where you kind of want to go. You want to log in and you want to hit the taskbar. And there are a bunch of tasks here, right? Now, I'm going to point out what are the most important tools that you have to use. And then I'll kind of describe quickly some of the others that you could use, but they're not going to be, you don't have to. These, if you want a big impact, the first one, your social media, is it. Now, you'll notice here, this is what the tool looks like. I showed it to you earlier in the full screen. Now, the old way is you just set you could just come in here and click these buttons, share to Facebook, share to Twitter, share to LinkedIn. And then when you click share, well, let's just click one real quick. We click share to Facebook. It sort of opens up a page on Facebook. It shows you what the image is. And then you can say, oh, I want to put it on my business page. And then you can write stuff and you can put emojis and you can make that compelling for people to click on it. And then when they click on that picture, it opens up the actual tool that captures the lead for you. That's what most agents are fairly familiar with on doing, right? But I mentioned just a few minutes ago that we have auto posting. So if you set that up on your profile and listings to leads, you can now say, well, I just want to see what this looks like, right? I can click that LinkedIn and it's going to show me what listings to leads has done automatically for you. And this is LinkedIn, and not a lot of people think about LinkedIn, but it does have a news feed, and a lot of consumers, a lot of of your target hang out there. They don't spend 40 minutes a day, but they're there. So notice that this says there's an open house in IQ. I use the text feature, so it automatically puts the text feature in there. Gives a little bit of information about the home. It's got emojis, these colorful things here, and it's got hashtags. So if you don't have a big group on LinkedIn, hashtags like open house, house hunting, for sale, realtor, these allow people to see it even if they don't know you. Now, if somebody sees this and they click on it, it pulls up the landing page that I showed you earlier is designed to capture leads for you. So this is automatically happening, assuming you log in and you turn on the automation in your profile, right? And I can tell you to write all this is not super difficult. To put in emojis is a little bit tricky if you don't know what that is. And to be honest, I rarely talk about emojis because I associate them with children and teenagers. But we know, because our clients are writing thousands of ads all over the country, that people or agents who put emojis in get more clicks. There's something about it. Maybe it's more personal. Maybe it slows down the eye. I have no idea. I just know it's a fact. And that's why when we do auto posting, we make sure there's emojis in there. So that's what it looks like over on LinkedIn. And of course, you can click here and see it on Facebook and Twitter. And we're using, like I said, hashtags and all that. But the point is, for every listing, at every status, you need to get a listing landing page out. If it's coming soon, if it's just listed, if it's open house or active. That's the best time to use this tool because it can capture a lot of leads for you. Now, I'm also going to point out, well, before I go there, the key is get this out. Now, you can do it manually by clicking this button how I showed you, or you could set up the automation so that we do it for you. And I want to point out one more thing. This is what it looks like on Facebook. And for those of you that have run ads on Facebook, you kind of know how to run an ad, right? For those of you who don't know how to, and not run ads on Facebook, we just made it dead simple for you. All you have to do now is click this button that says boost. And I would recommend this to every agent. I actually do recommend it to every agent I know. You should boost one ad on Facebook for $20 every week about a listing, at least one listing. It could be your listing. You could be borrowing the listing. You could be holding an open house for somebody this weekend and boost it just like this for 20 bucks. And all you do is you say, I want everybody that lives within 20 miles of Richland, Virginia to see this, right? Or Richmond, Virginia. And so I want to point out at this point some of the pitfalls that are going on with Facebook. You guys have, I mentioned it earlier, Facebook is under a lot of scrutiny because of some of the shady stuff going on over there. And one thing that you have to know is you can target people. And while we're doing this, let's target. And before I jump over there, I want to finish. For those of you that don't know, if you run an ad for 4 days for $20, probably 4,000 people will see it. All right, maybe 3,000 to 4,000 people will see that. And when you think of it, where are you going to have 3,000 to 4,000 people know that you're a realtor for 20 bucks? I frankly don't think anywhere, right? You might get 20 flyers printed for, you get a bunch of flyers printed, but not even close thousands of people will see you. You'll notice that it's saying by listings to leads. For you, it would be published by your business page, right? So you, the realtor. So a lot of people start to become familiar with that brand, and that's why I'm telling you, boost one listing for $20 every week. Because if you do that week after week, you're talking about $80 a month. Thousands of people start to recognize you're a realtor, and that's, I think, in everybody's interest. I'm going to jump into creating an ad because this is really important. We had a call this week because a number of people all over the country are getting their Facebook accounts shut down, and they're getting shut down for doing things that we have been doing for years. So I want you to understand whether you have experience with Facebook advertising or whether you don't. I want you to know where the trouble is occurring. All right. I've chosen traffic. If you don't know what that is, it means that when you're running an ad, it's going to be pretty and you got language there. But when somebody clicks it, it's going to drive that traffic off of Facebook to our tool. And of course, our tool captures the lead. But the point of this exercise, why we're in Facebook, is where the trouble is occurring. And the trouble is occurring where you build an audience. Again, if you don't know what Facebook is, you might have 100 friends on Facebook, but the power of Facebook advertising is 71% of adults are there, and you can target based on a number of criteria. And you can also make mistakes right on this page, and this is what I want to talk about. What are those mistakes? I don't know if you can see it very clearly, but I actually typed in Richmond, Virginia. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that yesterday, and there's nothing wrong with it today. That's exactly what you should be doing. But what you could do in the past couple years is you could have, instead of typed in Richmond, you could have typed in a zip code. And if you put in a zip code today, you could very well get your whole account shut down. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on at Facebook, but I know that is the case. You also could bracket on age, all right? And we would typically tell people, well, probably don't have anybody under 27 see your ad. And this is kind of the power of Facebook. And so you run an ad, and you would say, yeah, I don't want teenagers looking at my stuff. Well, if you do that, again, you can get your stuff blocked. You can get your whole account shut down. So if you're running ads, please do not do that any longer. Now, gender, did you have a question there? No? You're going, okay. So gender, just for real estate advertising rules, you should never do it. But if you do, you're definitely going to get your account shut down. Now, I want to point out, that's kind of it. Everything else to write an ad and all that, there's no trouble. It is in setting this audience. Instead of writing Richmond, if you typed in a zip code and if you had bracketed on that age, you could very well get your account shut down. And that's kind of, that was typical stuff for realtors. So that's why we're pointing it out, and I'm glad you're joining me. So I want to point out that, let me set a budget here. And let me say I'm going to do a lifetime budget. Whenever you run an ad, you want to run a lifetime budget. I'm going to change it to $20. Remember I said, let's always run $20 ads. And it's going to say per month. So I want to kick it back and say, you know what? I just want this ad to run through Saturday. And I want you to see here, the estimated daily reach is 830 to about 4,040. So if we land in the middle, let's just say that's about 2,000, 2,500 people every day are going to see your ad, all right, for $20. So that's about 10,000 people are going to see your ad in Richmond, Virginia for $20, right? That's why I tell people to run a $20 ad every week. And for us, since if you set up the automation on your profile, you can just click, it looks like this. This is totally designed and wired to capture leads for you. There's a button right here that says boost. Just boost it and say, I want everybody that lives in this town to see this, and you will be safe and you will capture leads. And I'll tell you this, we have a lot. We have our own in-house ad management team. So there are a lot of agents that are like, I don't want to know what this is, but I want to take advantage of it. Do you have an assistant that can do that? And we do. And I just got some numbers back from one of our clients. In 2 months, he ran 7 ads. He spent, can't remember what he spent, but he has 380 leads from 2 months' work at an average cost of 50 cents per lead. So I don't know if that makes any sense what I'm telling you, but if you want like 400 leads at 50 cents, you could boost your own ads just like what our support people are doing. Or you could say, hey Vince, we want your guy to do it. But this tool right here is that powerful. It's that effective. So that's the back to the listing section. That's like number one thing you should be doing with your tools if you want exposure and if you want leads. Number 2 is there's something here that says seller social media, and it's something that we automatically email to agents. And it's frankly probably one of the most ignored tools there are. And so you get an email and it looks like this, and at the bottom are 2 red lines, and what you're meant to do is copy what's between the 2 red lines and send it to your client. And then with your client, give them just a quick courtesy call, right? Hey, I just sent you something for Facebook. Would you just copy what I sent you and put it up on your Facebook wall? I'm doing all kinds of stuff. This is for an open house. And just say, we're doing everything to get the word out on your open house. Let's see here why it's taking too long. There should be a picture being pulled up here, and I don't know why there isn't. So I'm going to share it, and we're going to just hope it works. And for some reason, it's not. But when I pasted this, let me try it one more time. It's kind of crazy. Maybe I copied it wrong. Give me a second here. Oh, I did. Idiot.
It's lunchtime on the East Coast, so there's quite a few people on the East Coast on Facebook, so you're going to have a drag right now.
No, you know what? It's because I didn't drink enough coffee before I got on this call. It's my bad. Give me a second. I didn't paste, I didn't copy the hyperlink to the property, right? You see that image that you recognize? So what this is, right now, you're going to see it coming from Vincent Meza, right? It says Vincent Meza just posted, we're having an open house, and Vincent Meza at LL Realty is our realtor. This would be coming from the homeowner talking about you, the agent. Now, if you're the listing agent, this is great because when you do this, and when they post that, all of their friends and family and colleagues on Facebook now see that you're their realtor. And this is a great way for you to get your name out there for referrals, right? I don't know what you do for that. Some people leave business cards. Some people leave some really nice cutlery behind. But here, we want to get your name in front of your clients, friends, and family and colleagues. And on Facebook is the easiest way. And you just send them that. You call them for 5 seconds, say, I sent that to you. Obviously, if anybody is interested, they could click that. And that, of course, is designed to capture leads for you, right? And so that's the number 2 thing on marketing your listings that I recommend. Number 1 is get it on your social media. Number 2 is get it on your client's social media. And then number 3 is print flyer for nearby homeowners. And I'll click it here. And especially if you're doing a house, but if you sell a house or if you got something just listed, this tool, just as it sits right here, you can download it and you can print it. And this simple tool is very effective at capturing leads. One, if you're interested in the home, you can go and check out that website and go there. And then it says, when this home is sold, it's going to affect your home value. So if you've door knocked this, or if you mailed it to people in the area where you're selling a home, they're going to see that they can get their free home value right here. They can just type it on the computer and they'll get it. And that simple tool, and to me, it's kind of like not a super sexy deal. It works like wonders. This is Dustin Fox. You may have heard me mention this before. Dustin took that letter, as you saw it, and he puts it in a nice little black envelope, right? And now he's kind of graduated. This is back in July. Now he takes that same black envelope. He bought himself a $5 silver glitty Sharpie pen, and he handwrites the address. He puts his little calendar in there. He's over in Maryland. And he's got a little page for his reviews, right? So basically, this letter is too big. It's not junk mail. He's trying to get people to make sure they don't toss it away. The handwritten glitter thing is really, really great. But the results of this are remarkable. And that's why he came into the group and he said, look, I mailed this to 250 homes for $625. And I know he got 10 listings out of this one mailing. So you do the math. He's telling you his average commission is $17,000 per home. He sold 10 and he spent $625 to do it. And what he sent was this tool that you all have access to at every status. You don't have to use it at every status, but that's what it is. Now, that might seem kind of like pricey, like, oh, that's too much money. I don't want to spend that. I don't want 10 listings for $625. And I get that. So I want to show you about this lady, Cheyenne. Cheyenne kind of joined us right around the new year. I don't know where she came from, but she came in here and started chatting in our group, and she was really struggling. I think she heard about our landing pages, and she just struggles with trying to write an ad on Facebook. Just no two ways around it. It's not working for her. So one day she just took that flyer and she went and knocked in her neighborhood for 7 hours and picked up 4 listings, right? I think everybody might be able to do that. She took this letter and knocked on doors for 7 hours, kind of one day's work, and has 4 listings. That's not a bad thing. So I want you to know that that tool is there for you. And I recommend you apply that to your business. We've got single property websites if people have questions. I do recommend that you take our branded virtual tours. We auto-generate these things. And we put them out in, we just make them available to you. So they only get found if you take them. So the smartest thing to do is to copy the hyperlink up here, the address, or click the copy button right here, and then find your listing, go edit your listing on Zillow and on Trulia, and just paste it there. Because this tool is only designed to capture leads for you, right? If your listing is on Zillow, and somebody has an interest in your home, if they fill out a form, if you're lucky, you're going to get a lead. But at that very same time, so will 3 other real estate agents. And before somebody fills out a form, they will definitely click a virtual tour. And as you can see, this virtual tour is only designed to give leads to you. So that's like a big important thing. I do recommend that you do that. On the, we've got other tools here. eFlyer for your database. If you're somebody that has a CRM, this eFlyer, you can copy and paste, drop into CRM. It's effective at getting listings. It's effective at getting people to engage. Sometimes you collect leads for years and you just never get any engagement. You drop that in there, blast it down on them. People are getting business out of that. We have a way to get to Craigslist. We have blog tools. And if you're doing an open house, we have what's called a sign-in form. And I definitely recommend that if you're holding an open house for yourself or for another agent, that you get the Wi-Fi on that house, you whip out a laptop or an iPad, and you say, hey, when you're done, we would really love your feedback. And you can see there's just a couple of questions here. They fill it out. Bam. That consumer gets a mobile optimized single property website about the home. You, of course, get their contact information. So those are great tools on the listing side, and I definitely recommend you use them. On the landing page side, I'm going to tell you, I think I showed you over here that you have a landing page for home valuations. So when I said you should always boost an ad for $20 every week, and you could see that that $20 is going to be seen by 10,000 people. I would also recommend that you run an ad with this very tool in the same location of Facebook. And instead of 20, put on $30 and say, hey, would you like your Richmond home value now, right? And if you want to know how to write it, there's all kinds of help inside the mastermind group of ideas of what to write. But one thing I want to point out, which is brand new and you may not know, is if you click edit on this page, you will see an advanced options section. And the only thing you got to do is click that new button and then save this, which says follow up email the first week of every month. All right. What that means is we will, if you capture a lead with an email, every month we're going to give them an updated value. And it looks just like this. I got it. I just got mine this morning, right? So I was a lead and it says, please find your updated home value, right? And you can see homes for sale. I've got Zillow reviews, so you can see those, and boom, you see it all here, right? So, and then there's even a spot here where you can say, hey, I'd really like an on-site valuation. And that's the thing about this is when you capture a listing lead, when you capture any lead, frankly, there's this concept in real estate, which I refer to as speed a lead. If you get a lead, you better call that lead in 5 minutes. And some people train on that and they ignore that. And some people train on that and they do it. And whether, and if you do it, you'll often find people say, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I didn't touch that. I don't know what you're talking about. And that's just because nobody really wants to talk to an agent. They're interested in information, but they don't really want to talk to anybody right now. They were hoping to just sort of anonymously be floating around the internet and gathering information. So when this comes out 2 or 3 months down the line and they get it every month, they finally realize like, oh yeah, that's a real realtor. And I did fill out that form because I did want to know what my home was worth because I am thinking of selling. And they actually, with that simple little calendar, will set an appointment. And you can then have a nice listing presentation, right? So that's a really important tool to be using. And lastly, inside, let's see if I can get back inside. Where am I? I had mentioned on the profile, there are a couple of important things that you need to know about. One I mentioned earlier is auto posting. And I'm going to point this out. So you want to check all these boxes and click save. You want to click Facebook and then click this blue button to connect to your Facebook. The steps are right here. Connect to Facebook. Number 2, select your pages. Number 3, copy this and paste it here. You recognize these emojis and all my hashtags. So we're just copying that and putting it there. When you click in this box, it shows you the business pages. I've already got listings to leads chosen. And that's my business page, right? You're going to have you, the realtor, the business page. And so that sets up Facebook. You save it. You do the same thing. All you got to do is connect to Twitter, copy this, put it here, and LinkedIn. And this gets your listings auto posted at every status. So really, if you set this up, all you would need to do is at this point start managing your statuses. It's no longer active. It's under contract. And then bam, we're going to auto post with all the lead capture. Okay, and then tomorrow it becomes just sold, right? And then bam, we promote that with all the lead capture, helping you get more listings. That's the automation to auto post for your social media on your listings. Right now at Listings to Leads, we have tested, and we're testing right now, auto posting for home valuation pages. So a lot of agents, like, they hear about these tools and they're like, oh, they're great, but I'm not techie. I can't figure it out. If you can turn on the automation, we can post these things for you, including home valuation landing pages on a consistent basis. And that's the thing about marketing in any industry, but definitely for you as realtors, you have to consistently do something, and you know how hard that is. Turn on the automation. This home value landing page automation is not live yet. It'll probably be live in 1 to 2 more weeks, but we are live with posting your listings, and just take advantage of that. It is all designed to capture leads. That's kind of my story. Any questions? Did I blow you away? I will say this. If you're not part of our mastermind group, you need to get to be part of our mastermind group. It is a secret group for our clients only, and they share a lot of what's going on. They share how they're using their tools. We share what new tools are coming in, and anything that's changing that you need to be aware of in real estate advertising, it's going to be here, whether it's with our tools or just, sort of, industry specific stuff. industry-wide stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so right here, somebody is saying, be aware of zip code targeting, which I just explained to you. So that's kind of the story. If you don't have more questions, thank you for your time. I will get this recording up online and give it back to you.
Thanks, Vincent.
Okay, let me say one more thing. I meant to say it. If you're not in our mastermind group, my name is Vincent Meza. You can also find me as Vincent at Sea. Friend me and then say, Vince, I'd like to become part of that mastermind group. And then I will get you in that mastermind group. It's a secret group, so it's really complicated to get in. So everybody, thanks so much. Thanks for joining me. If we need to do more calls like this, let me know. I can tell you the trick to listings to leads. The trick to listings to leads is using the tools. If you use the tools, they work for everybody. You guys have a great day. And again, thanks so much for letting me join you.
Thank you.
Okie dokie.